guys, what is up, and welcome back to another episode of Miles Out with Ace Attorney Investigations. In the last episode, we continued on with the investigation of the Alabastian embassy office. We found out that the Pink Princess is Miss Olbag. That is not a good thing. And we found out that the room that Olbag was in and the room that we are in, the chimneys are connected. So her undershirt ended up like kind of going through the chimney from her room to the other room. I'm not sure how that happened, but yeah, whatever. But yeah, now we are going to be cross-examining Larry, to kind of get his full story, because he has told us a very big lie. I don't know what that lie is yet, but we will find out. Okay. Let's get going. After the show, I left the pushcart in the rose garden and came to the embassy. Then they took a picture of me shaking hands with the ambassador. After that, and until my next appearance, I had some free time, so I wandered around. And that's when I spotted the chimney. A chimney like that is a rare thing, you know? So then I wanted to play Santa and decided to give it a try. Larry, I thought I just finished telling you to not lie anymore. But it's kinda ultra embarrassing. And what exactly is so ultra embarrassing that you can't tell me? Edgy, man, I just said it was embarrassing, so of course I can't just blurt it out. So you're just gonna have to reason it out of me! As your superior, I command you to hurry up and expose this man's lie. I have every intention to, for I'm not about to let us waste time on such a trifling matter. Larry, stop lying. I don't know what the lie is. Okay. I should hardly think that chimneys are rare. Agreed, especially since they are a traditional feature of American houses. Plus, many grand buildings have even larger and fancier chimneys. Yeah, but the kind of chimney I'm talking about is the really romantic type. A romantic chimney? It might sound kind of silly, but women really seem to enjoy them. And I just had a good feeling about that chimney. You suddenly wanted to play Santa. Oh, well, actually, I dressed up as Santa once before already. That was down at Gourd Lake. Ugh. I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't dredge up such unnecessary memories for me. Sounds like you guys share a lot of history. A perk to being childhood friends, huh? Besides, it's not a felony to dress up and play Santa, you know? Santa doesn't go around killing people after he comes down a family's chimney, after all. Actually, is it worth delving into whether not playing Santa is a big deal? Oh, no objection? Actually, I believe in the case of this man, playing Santa is actually quite of a big deal. Are you saying that your buddy isn't exactly made of Santa-quality stuff? Precisely. You hit the nail on the head, Agent Lang. Hey, Edgy! That's so incredibly mean! Tell me something, Larry. Did you know that Santa's job is to deliver presents to people all over the world? Of course I know that! I did graduate from junior high, you know! In that case, it's your turn to tell me something. I want you to tell me to whom you were delivering a present to. I was, delivering a present to a child not basking in the glow of love? That must be the most elegant description of you I've ever heard, but a lie is still a lie. You sure know how to kick a guy when he's down, you know that? In any case, the person you wish to deliver a present onto was most certainly this. Olbag? Interesting taste you have there, Mr. Suspect. Don't spread lies about me! I totally didn't want to see Miss Olbag so much that I tried to go down a chimney! Ow! I'd advise you to stop right there when you're bashing of a lady. Well, I must admit that I myself hardly have ever want to run into that lady. However, what if you were misinformed and under the wrong impression? Then what? Define wrong impression. I simply mean that the man before you thought to enter the old lady's room, without knowing one very important fact. And that fact is best summed up with this. This is something the old lady received from her employer for the night. The girl who normally plays the Pink Princess, Mindy, was it again? Seems that this man is quite taken in with that actress. But that's not true, Edgy! She's the one with the hots for me. I just know it. I can feel her sexy beam piercing my heart when she's watching me. Sexy beam, I tell you! You filthy, despicable, inconsiderate, fickle, idiotic, cowardly apparition of a man. You haven't matured at all since we last met. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Yes? This guy. He's got bigger problems than just getting involved in murders, I take it? I suppose you could put it that way. Hey, what the heck, man? I don't get you guys at all. Why do you all have to make me out to be some sort of bad guy? To return to the original topic, I propose that at least this much be made clear. Without any knowledge that Miss Mindy had fallen ill, Larry tried to make his way into the Pink Princess's room. That much we know for sure. Hey, Edgy. Looks like I got the hang of this court thing now. But we're not in court at the moment. Shut up! I see what's going on here, and it looks just like what you do in court. I guess old boy here still has something he'd like to say. Lang Ji says, until the root of the tongue dries, one never knows the whole truth. You shouldn't form conclusions until everything is out in the open, which is why I'll listen. Alright! Then get ready to listen to me defeat Edgy in a battle of wits! Larry, have you forgotten that should I lose, your victory prize will be your arrest? Dumbass. You stupid dumb butt. So you think that all I wanted to do was go visit Mindy? Well, I dressed up as Santa and climbed to the chimney, but the smoke was really thick. It was a case of mistaken identity, and that mistake made me late for the speech. And to top it all off, I became a suspect in a murder. That's what you really meant. Why would I ever put myself through so much humiliation on purpose? Hey! Someone say something! Larry, are you seriously trying to submit this not as confession, but a testimony? So what if I am? Is there something wrong with that? My claim is a claim claiming my claim. Do you have a problem with that?
So it was you! You're my stalker! But I should warn you, it doesn't matter what kind of flattery you throw at me. I'm the devoted type of woman who's wholly focused on one man and one man only. So long as Eddie Boo is alive, I can just drop him and be unfaithful, though I can otherwise.
I'm so inspired! You're such an inconsiderate, cowardly, idiotic, and all-around completely worthless man. I thought I heard something ominous just now, but perhaps it was just my imagination. I believe there is nothing further for me to prove at this point. What do you mean? Of course you still got something to prove. You still have to show some proof that I was trying to meet up with Mindy. Proof, you say? Remember, Edgy? Everything is evidence in court, right? You mean evidence is everything in court, Larry, but I understand your point. Yeah, see? I'm totally a pro at this now. Very well. If you wish to see the evidence, then let me show you the last piece of evidence you'll ever wish to see. Alright. Okay. So you think that all I wanted to do was go visit Mindy? Yeah, kinda. Dumbass. Larry, don't even think about denying that you have knowledge of this letter. Hey! Why are you showing that thing to me? Wendy, I'll be descending on you from above tonight, your loving knight. Well, isn't that just romantic? But you weren't able to descend upon her from above, were you, Mr. Loving Knight? I have no idea what you're talking about! I don't remember a thing! You can pretend to be ignorant all you'd like, but it's written right here. This letter proves that you were not out to meet the old lady, but rather that you were attempting to pay Miss Mindy a visit. What part of this letter shows that the person Larry had intended to meet was Mindy? Wait, hold on. Oh, that's what it is. This guy just has really shitty handwriting. He just has really bad handwriting. Larry, I suggest you take up penmanship lessons. That is, if you never wish to experience this level of embarrassment ever again. What the heck? What are you talking about? Speak English! You wrote Mindy so sloppily that it became Wendy to the average eye. Hey, stop picking on me. It's so embarrassing! There. Isn't that what childhood friends are for? They're the best, aren't they? For punching. But that'll have to wait until we're off for this crime scene. Edgy, save me from the scary man! Sure, if you're willing to make amends, starting with your incredibly embarrassing mistake.
That wasn't me!
Come again?
It's a fake! Someone's out to get me, so they made that fake letter! To set me up!
Accept your defeat graciously.
But you guys are being so mean!
Penmanship analysis. What's that? No matter who, all people have certain unique features to their handwriting. Ergo, all we have to do is compare the handwriting in this letter to a sample of yours, and we'll know soon enough who it was that sent this letter.
I'll never write another thing in my life!
It's no use, Mr. Loving Knight, for you've already graciously provided me with a sample of your handwriting. Idiot. This autograph and our mysterious letter. If we compare the handwriting, we'll know the answer to our questions soon enough. Confess now, Larry, to your miserable failure.
I'm sorry! I did it. It was me causing trouble again. I admit it. You hit the nail right on the head. Genji.
So he finally confesses.
I saw the pink princess being carried around in a stretcher and got worried, alright? I wanted to go into Mindy's room, but the doctors wouldn't let me in. So what choice did I have? It was the chimney or bust, Edgy.
Your mind jumped from the door to the chimney? What a criminally overactive imagination.
Well, at least I was honest and wrote Mindy a letter and stuck it under the door. That way she wouldn't be so shocked when I came down through the chimney.
Except for the fact that the letter was an utter failure at conveying said sentiment.
I'm really, really sorry.
Larry, you may be a shameful, good-for-nothing blight on the face of humanity. However, I always knew you weren't the killer. I told you to trust me, because at the very least I can attest to that about you.
Edgy, you're...
We've lost a lot of valuable time because of you.
Ow!
In any case, I believe we can say that we now know exactly what happened. Mr. Larry Budd sought to climb down the chimney, not for access to the crime scene, but to enter the room of the elderly lady next door. Great job, Mr. Prosecutor. Although I still find it a bit unbelievable that the two of you are friends. But the suspicion on that guy over there isn't completely resolved yet, so don't get any funny ideas about running off, okay?
Ow!
Hey, what? Edgy, what does the Wolfman mean when he says, I'm not off the hook yet? He means the murder weapon. Larry, did you forget? There are 2 layers of suspicion hanging over your head. That's exactly what I mean. We can't only rely on the words of a suspect after all. We may have figured out where he was and what he was doing all night, but the blood-stained samurai sword that was left at the crime scene, as long as there's no satisfactory explanation for that, this wolf will refuse to ease up on his bite.
Edgy, that guy, it looks like he's seriously about to take a bite out of me.
I'm well aware, and you should be as well, that this upcoming battle will be crucial. Thanks to the cooperation of our lovely bumbler, I've been dealt a very nice hand and a sweet trump card. Looks like we're about to enter the final bout. Now, Mr. Prosecutor, let's see what you've got. I can easily point out the contradiction in the supposed murder weapon, but the real problem for me is figuring out what the real murder weapon is. This will be a high-stakes gamble, but this is one game I can't afford to lose. Okay. I was the one who found the body of the victim to mask the second. Besides him was the samurai sword, glittering red and offering up a scent of blood. It was supposed to be in the samurai's dressing room, but I found it here instead. Plus, I found the murder weapon's owner, the suspect, Larry Bussin, here too. Isn't it a bit far-fetched to accuse someone simply on the basis of ownership? But this owner wanted to sneak onto the crime scene. I think that's plenty to go on, don't you? If you're alluding to his reason for being by the chimney, we've already established that. Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. You two are longtime friends, right? Who's to say you didn't fabricate the evidence to give him an alibi? You're accusing me of fabricating evidence? You think I can believe anything you produce? Forging evidence is all you prosecutors do. This man has some serious issues with prosecutors. Come on! I can't think of something as complicated as that, right, Edgy? Larry, I can agree because I know you and your personality well. However, Agent Lang knows nothing about you, or me for that matter. I sense his hatred for my entire profession emanating from his entire being, meaning that the only way I can prove Larry's innocence is to present irrefutable evidence. Okay. Oh crap. It's simply not possible that the steel samurai sword is the real murder weapon, so I should focus on proving that point to Agent Lang first. Excuse me, but glittering red and offering up the scent of blood? Do I have to spell it out for you? I mean the sight and smell of blood, of course. And according to the tests, the blood on the sword belongs to the victim. The sword was made to only be used on stage, so it's not sharp. But it is pretty weighty. It's certainly heavy enough to beat someone to death with. Which leads me to suspect that the victim was beaten to death with the sword. Beaten to death, huh? This last statement is too important to just let it slip by. Beside him was the samurai sword covered in the victim's blood. There's nothing wrong with that. Wait. I suspect he beat the victim to death with that thing?
Objection!
Nice, okay. Do you know what this is, Agent Lang? It's a long spear, right? We used to use this a lot in my country a long time ago. Piercing, mowing people down, spears are the weapon of heroes throughout history. It's the next most effective weapon after the whip. I think the whip is in a slightly different category. So what's your point? Are you gonna tell me that the spear is the real weapon? No, I simply want you to take a look at this section here. The way it's bent? Precisely. Apparently, a certain troublemaker hit it against a wall in this embassy earlier, and as you can clearly see, the insides of the steel samurai weapons are hollow. In other words, they're replicas that aren't strong enough to deliver a damaging blow, let alone the multiple strikes necessary to bludgeon someone to death. And yet there was not even a single dent in the samurai sword. How do you explain that? Yeah! Oh yeah! That sword and the spear are made of the same stuff, so they bend easily, sorry. But I wish they made them out of better stuff, because the spear got bent. I wasn't able to do my special early summer raid jab move. Man, I got such an earful from the director of the play for not doing it in the show. The Steel Samurai special move was changed tonight because of him? Ouch! That's more than enough of your whiny whimpering. Now, back onto the topic of the spear. Yes, let's return to the real topic of discussion. This is where the real gamma begins. I don't have a real strategy per se, so all I can do for now is let the chips fall where they may. Using guesswork and taking risks in place of real logic is hardly the Von Karma way. It's neither smart nor very clever. Miss Von Karma, as you know, unlike your father, I am not a genius prosecutor. Plus, I doubt his record of a 40-year win streak will ever be broken. But perhaps it is for the best if it remains unbroken, for no one should have conceived of the notion to convict all defendants in the first place. What a foolishly foolish statement from a foolish fool who hates to lose. It's the job of a prosecutor who makes sure that all defendants are found guilty in court. There is nothing more important in this world than a perfect victory. That may be your opinion, however, I don't believe that's all we are. As a prosecutor, what I pursue is not the perfect victory, but the perfect truth. And if that means that the bridge I must cross will crumble beneath my feet, then let it crumble as I walk on towards the truth. You're good at keeping me entertained, Mr. Prosecutor, but you know, humans are delicate creatures. The slightest bump and we expire. I'd like you to consider, if you will, the possibility that the sword was used in such a way that the attack killed Damas II without bending it. So what do you think of my hypothetical scenario? I think you know what to do here, right? And what you need. Of course. What I need is evidence again even Agent Lang can't refute. This is it. It's time to bring this to a close. It's possible to use the samurai sword to kill someone. And under these circumstances, it's the only logical conclusion. We searched the embassy, top to bottom, but the victim's blood is only on that weapon. So isn't it only natural that suspicion would fall onto the owner of said weapon? How long do you intend to cling on to that preposterous theory? As long as I want, because we examine every corner within the walls of this embassy. There's no stone we've left unturned. And we have managed to come up with only one logical conclusion, that the only place inside this embassy with the victim's blood on it is this sword. You left no stone unturned? Is that a fact? If you got something to say, then say it in the only way I respect, Mr. Prosecutor. Yes, of course. In that case, allow me to make it all crystal clear for you.
I was about to say, I was like, do we have the chimney? Do we have the chimney? No, we do not.
The only place where you could find blood was on the samurai sword? That's right, even with luminol. Which means that there are no other possibilities outside of what I've already outlined. Do I have a problem with Agent Lang's assertion that the samurai sword is the weapon? If you believe that there is no other door or possibility left to open, then allow me to force one open for you. And how do you plan to do that? By showing you what may possibly be the real murder weapon. Ha! The real murder weapon? I hate to repeat myself, but my men have already searched every last inch of this embassy, and they've concluded that nothing else could have been used as the weapon. Knowing these facts, do you still want to press forward with your little hypothesis? Of course. Because it's not possible that your men expected everything in their investigation. What are you talking about? I don't appreciate mind games, and I don't appreciate when people like you slander my men. I'm not slandering them, I assure you. I'm merely pointing out that their investigative dragnet has a few holes in it. Namely, that there is something your men couldn't even lay a finger on. And that item is the real murder weapon. Alright then, I'll play along for now. This real weapon that killed Damas II, what exactly is it? The real murder weapon, which not a single person has yet to touch, is this. Shit. I don't know. That's a very good question, I don't know. It can't be. Am I stupid? Hold on. The National Treasure of Alabast. You mean the primitive statue? Yes, and as you know, only the ambassador and his secretariat may touch it. Which I believe means that neither you nor your men were able to examine it, correct? Ha! You know very well that if we did that, there'd be an international incident between the Kingdom of Alabast and the Republic of Babal. The two countries' precarious relationship teeters in the balance over a stupid fight related to a sovereignty statue. But I'll be damned if I let something go unexamined. Agent Lang, if you could take a look at this. The direction the statue is facing just before and after the crime are different, and there is only one conclusion I can draw from that. Go look for Ambassador Alba and get him to give us the okay to examine the statue. Shifu, you can't listen to this infidel's words! He is most definitely trying to trick you! Shifu, please let's be rational about this! Ugh! Wang Ji says, just go already! Damn. Shifu, yeah? I'm really sorry, sir, but I was unable to convince the ambassador. I was unable to obtain permission for us to examine the primitive statue. I see. Wait, but then the investigation is at a standstill. Agent Lang, I will go and speak with the ambassador personally. Save your breath. He may act all weak and frail, but that old man's one tough cookie. But I guess you gotta be tough when you're representing a whole country, you know? Agent Lang, what do you want? Let's just hurry up and examine the statue already. But Shifu, what about causing an international incident? Quiet! I'll take the fall if I have to later. Agent Lang, the hypothesis is mine, so if someone is to take the responsibility, let it be me. Responsibility? If we're going to talk in such heavy terms, maybe I should let you. It'd be a real problem for my men if something were to happen to me. Alright then, less talk and more investigating. If we want to know the truth, we can't stop here. Action must be taken. Agent Lang, I'd like to run a luminol whatever that is, test on the statue. A luminol test? Good thinking. If the statue was the murder weapon, then some of the victim's blood should be on it. Okay, let's get the forensics team in here. Aha! Looks like you hit the jackpot, Mr. Prosecutor. I guess this means that this is the real murder weapon that killed Damas II. Indeed. But I wouldn't celebrate yet if I were you. This doesn't let your friend off the hook. It doesn't prove that he didn't kill Damas II, so the charge remains. We are hardly done examining the statue, Agent Lang. Knowing that it is the real weapon, I believe further examination is required. Ha! You think so? Okay then, knock yourself out. Upon closer inspection, he really does look a lot like the Steel Samurai. Hey, maybe that's why they chose him to be the Goodwill Ambassador. I actually can't discredit that hypothesis. Or maybe the people at this embassy just really like the Steel Samurai. That's absolutely preposterous. I don't think it's that unlikely. We mustn't go around announcing people's opinions. And yet look how easily you discredited mine. Not that I care why they chose him. Hold on. With his sword drawn and ready, there is a certain aura of valor around him. Lang Ji says, those who hold a sword hold an equally strong will. It's said that the weapon one holds reflects the strength and will of one's character. I wonder if this was created as a show of the country's majesty. Ooh, and what does Francie's whip say about her character? It says that I'm ready to exact punishment on those who would break the law. Why are you glaring at me? I thought you understood I'm not the killer. I believe in your case, she wishes to exact punishment before anything else happens. You are a magnet for trouble, Larry. We can't trust you. There was a shield on his back. I wonder if that's supposed to mean that his back is covered? Lang Ji says, those with a shield on their back deflect all enemies behind them. It means that he is ready for any blindside attacks that might come his way. Agent Lang, there's no need to attach overly complex meanings to such a simple thing. Ha! You didn't seem to get Lang Ji's saying, so I was just explaining it to you. The saying itself is what I was referring to when I said overly complex, you know. Oh, and what do we have here? This sturdy smudge. It looks like a handprint. What's a definitive bit of evidence like you doing under here? Looks like we got some fingerprints to analyze. Worst case scenario, these prints belong to Larry. But it looks like it's too late for me to do anything about that now. Well, if it was Larry, he wouldn't even leave prints. He has gloves on. Hey, forensics guy! I want results of these fingerprints ASAP, you hear me? Agent Lang, I have the analysis project, sir. Good. And? Sure. I read the prints predicted from the murder in the stitch. Well, you know the victim of the murder in the Bobbley's embassy? The prints belong to him, to Manny Cochin, sir. But that's... What's going on around here? No, that's impossible! Each Primidoc statue can only be handled by someone of that country. But by the very fact that Mr. Cochin's fingerprints are on this one, it leads me to only one conclusion. This statue is actually Babal's primitive statue. Impossible! It can't be! Yeah! Larry never once set foot in Bobbly's soil, so he was free to go. However, this new piece of information only served to confuse us even further. The ringleader of a smuggling operation was killed with an Alabastian knife in Babal. And Damas II was killed on Alabastian soil with Babal's national treasure. And the mystery of the great thief Yatagarasu who visited both countries. The pieces were there, but I had yet to see the big picture they were to form.
What the hell? How did that even happen? You can't... What? If the... I'm sorry. Listen, okay. When the heck were they switched? Did they just have the wrong statue the whole time? If Babal's is in Alabast, and Alabast is in Babal, they had to have been switched at some point. Did they just get the wrong statue from the very beginning? And then Manny Kojin just somehow happened to know about it? Or did he come there with Babal's national treasure, somehow, some fucking way, and then bring Alabast's back to Babal? How? What? Why couldn't he just bring Babal's back to Babal? If he... What? Okay, I suppose we'll figure this out in future parts, but for right now, that is the end. I'll see you guys next time. Roll the end card.
Objection! You haven't hit like and subscribe yet. Hold it! You forgot to ring the bell to get notified whenever I upload. Take that! Click here to watch more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye!